All right, this is gonna hold me, darling. Woo! Say it now. Hold me, darling. Hold me tight. You the one I wanna be with tonight. Give me a drag off that Colorado cigarette. Woo! The night is young, so are you. Ain't nothing in this big old world you can't do but hold me, darling. I said, hold me tight. Whisper sweet things in my ear. Give me only pretty little words to hear. Tell me you love me all night long. Tell me you love me even when I'm gone. Hold me, darling. I said, hold me tight. You the one I wanna be with tonight. Hold me, darling. I said, whoo. Hold me tight. Ah, now. Woo. Hold me like an old wisteria vine, hanging on to that old Alabama pine. Hold me, darling, I said, hold me tight. Oh, hold me, darling, hold me tight. You the one I wanna be with tonight. Give me a drag off that Colorado cigarette. Whoo, yeah. A lot of people have discovered my music through a movie called A Love Song for Bobby Long, which came out December 29th, 2004. Kind of made its life in 2005. Starring John Travolta, Scarlett Johansson. The way it came about was I was in a band called Stave and Chain, and we had a regular Thursday night at the Maple Leaf in New Orleans. And these two girls were traveling across the country doing a documentary called Anthem, asking the question, what's the American dream upon the turn of the millennium? We collaborated with them, me and John Lawrence, and did music for it. And that ended, and then Shani Gable, one of the women, said she wanted to do a movie based in New Orleans, but she didn't have a story. And this is where I go to the bottom drawer of my filing cabinet, and I pull out a hand-typed manuscript full of whiteout and everything, written by my father. He never got it published. It was called A Cream White Occurrence off East Magazine. And I gave it to her, and she fell in love with it. And her job for making money at that time was turning books into screenplays. So she made a screenplay based off that book, and told me, many years, that she wanted to film. Several summers would go by, and she said, we're going to film this movie. After the fourth summer went by, she called up and said, we're going to film. And I said, all right, cool. I didn't think, it was ever going to happen.
I imagine that is like something like you're like, oh my god, is this is this really a moment?
Well, it was really a moment when I said, "Well, who's playing Bobby Long?"
Oh
And she
man.
said John Travolta, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Okay.
And you asked, my father wrote this book, and it's basically about there's a real guy named Bobby Long that was a friend of my dad's, and he was larger than life. He was like Anthony Quinn and Zorba the Greek crossed with Al Pacino and Scent of a Woman with a little bit of Charles Bronson thrown in there. He and my dad wrote a book, kind of like Jack Kerouac wrote a book called On the Road about Neil Cassady. He wrote it about Bobby Long, where he's the writer. Bobby Long's the guy. And the thing that tied it to me so closely was he put his friends in where I was living, which was South Front Street in New Orleans. It was the outdoor living room. We were living on the railroad tracks right on the river. It was a time where we had a one-legged landlord named Alan Crane who lost the property to bankruptcy. We went 3 years without having to pay rent. And all we had to do was play music and buy food and exist that way. And so it was a lot like Tortilla Flats or Cannery Row from Steinbeck, And so my dad took that scenario. And Shani Gable, the woman, the director of Love Song for Bobby Long, she knew my music before the book, and she knew South Front Street. She'd stayed out there. And that's what made it magic for her. And it tied into a beautiful movie. Every scene is like a painting, and it's a beautiful capture of New Orleans before Katrina. It was the last film made there, and it's just pretty surreal that it happened, but it's helped my career a lot, and I've discovered a lot of fans through that movie. And I remember I wrote the song specifically for Bobby himself. I took it to a hotel in Bruton, Alabama. I played it to him, gave him a cassette of it, and it was like a foretelling of the future when he looked at me and he said, "Son, you have immortalized me in a song, and I thank you for that." Well, my daughter is playing in a band called the Mud Club, and she's got several albums out. And literally like 5 years ago, I would never have seen this. She could not even order in a restaurant. She was so shy and introverted. Now she's in a punk band. And, being around her mother's a musician, I'm a musician, and initially I thought, this is the last thing she's going to want to do. She's going to do something, like archaeology or, be something that's not like this. But it's in her blood. She's a gypsy, and she's been on the road with either me or her mama her whole life, and that's all she knows. And I'm proud of her. And I try to support her the best I can with delivering my fan base to hers. And anyway, I hope to see her again soon. She's in Bristol, England, and I miss her so. So anyway, that's the answer to that question.
Trying to wake up from a dream. I'm not the one to point the finger. I'm not the one to bring you down. How long will this bad luck linger? How long will we be afraid to break off from the clay? Talking blues are easy to do. All you got to rhyme is a line or two. Rhyme a line or two, and then you don't ever have to rhyme again. See? I can say whatever I want to now. You know, within reason.